In the world of horse racing, legends are not born overnight. They emerge from the shadows, rising through challenge and triumph, capturing the imagination of fans across the globe. In 2018, a towering chestnut colt named Justify did what many thought impossible. He not only defied history, he rewrote it. Justify was foaled on March 28, 2015 in Kentucky, bred by John D. Gunther at Glenwood Farm. Sired by Scat Daddy and out of the mare Stage Magic, Justify carried bloodlines of both speed and stamina. From the start, he was big, muscular, and imposing, standing over 16 hands tall. But even with his pedigree, Justify's path to greatness was anything but certain. As a 2-year-old, physical setbacks delayed his debut. In fact, he would never race at 2, placing him under the shadow of one of racing's oldest superstitions, the so-called Apollo curse.
Welcome to Road to the Kentucky Derby. Guys, let's talk about that dreaded Apollo curse. Well, guys, we hear about it every year, the Apollo curse, 136 years. No horse that did not race as a 2-year-old has won the Kentucky Derby. We've seen some names like Curlin, Verrazano, Bodemeister in recent years, talented horses that were unable to do it. Ed, let's start with you. How important is the Apollo curse? 2 horses at the top of the list this year, both major contenders in the Kentucky Derby. Justify and Magnum Moon are trying to break that curse.
Yeah, it's everything to me. I'm an Apollo truther, as I like to say. I think it's so cool that a race of this magnitude still has something germane to it that happened 136 years ago. So even separate from the handicapping angle, I just think it's really cool that it's even something to talk about. But I'm a believer. I just think this is such a tough race, and the brilliance at 2 holds so much sway on how horses perform in this race that I think it is a factor, and at a short price I'm definitely willing to bet against it. Now if we were talking about a 20 or 30 to 1 horse, like say if Hofburg hadn't started at 2 and just came on, then maybe you take a shot, but at 5 to 2 and 6 or 8 to 1, I'm willing to let 136 years of history back my bets.
Since 1882, no horse had won the Kentucky Derby without first racing as a 2-year-old. For 136 years, this curse hung over late debuting horses. The Derby was considered unwinnable without that foundation. But Justify was no ordinary horse. Under the guidance of Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert, and with ownership from Windstar Farm, China Horse Club, Head of Plains Partners, and Starlight Racing, Justify would soon challenge that superstition head-on.
With Showtime Rocket, Justify coming through now to contest the lead. Canby is a close 4th, and Trey dropping out 2.5 lengths last. It's Showtime Rocket, Justify, Paddock Pick, a line of 3. Chased past the 5/8 pole by Canby, who in turn is well clear of Trey. Narrow lead now for Justify over the stablemate Showtime Rocket on his inside, and Paddock Pick is a half length back in the 3 path. A little more than 2 lengths to Canby, and Trey drifting back 7 lengths astern. Past the half-mile pole, Showtime Rocket on the inside together with Justify, leading as they race to the 3/8 pole into the turn from Paddock Pick, who's dropped 1.5 lengths off in 3rd. As Justify regains a clear lead now. Justify shakes away from Showtime Rocket at the 5/16. Paddock Pick is 2nd. Canby beginning to run on. He splits horses. He's coming home strongly to a joint 2nd, but Justify confidently ridden by Van Dyke at the top of the stretch. Leads 3 lengths to Canby. Paddock Pick running 3rd. Less than 3/16 to go. And it's Justify by 3 or 4 lengths. Canby under heavy pressure. Can do only as well as 2nd placing behind a very promising type. Justify will justify his odds on, to quote, with the promise of bigger things to come. This gleaming chestnut wins by 6 on debut from Canby and Paddock Pick.
On February 18th, 2018, at Santa Anita Park, Justify finally made his debut. He broke cleanly, surged ahead, and left the field behind with astonishing ease. His performance turned heads instantly. This was not just another horse. This was a powerhouse. 5 weeks later, he returned in an allowance race.
Racing. Justify begins fairly well. Calixman gets the best of the break from the middle of the line. Justify moving up 2nd. Shiver Me Timbers dropping down to the rail as a joint third with Tap Fever, and Pepe Tonio goes back fifth and last. Calix Man is the leader past the 7/8 pole from a line of three. Shiver Me Timbers, Tap Fever and Justify, and a gap of 6 lengths to Pepe Tonio. 6 furlongs to go, and Calix Man, who scratched from yesterday's San Felipe Stakes, makes the running by just over 2 lengths to Shiver Me Timbers and Justify as they draw 1 length clear of Tap Fever. Pepe Tonio is 8 lengths last. They travel the back stretch. Calix Man showing out by almost 2 lengths. Justified travelling sweetly second. Shiver Me Timbers ahead back on the inside. Tap Fever is now 2.5 lengths behind that pair, and 6 clear of Pepe Tonio. This is the order as Calix Man leads them off the back stretch to the 3/8 pole, 1.5 lengths. Justify is about to take aim. He is ready to fire as he easily shrugs off Shiver Me Timbers. They're clear of Tap Fever, and then Pepe Tonio past the 5/16, and Justify in the twinkling of an eye has put 2 lengths on Calix Man, followed by Shiver Me Timbers. Past the quarter pole comes Justify. By 3 lengths, Calix Man is second on the inside of Shiver Me Timbers. They swing for home, and it's Justify by 4. Shiver Me Timbers second. Calix Man on the inside is next. Justify coming past the 8th pole would have to race in outer space to feel less pressure. He's not yet battle-hardened, but just who is the most talented 3-year-old to race this weekend? Justify, a colt of limitless potential, wins by 6 lengths from Shiver Me Timbers, and it's either Pepe Tonio or Calix Man for third.
Once again, he dominated. With each stride, Justify's potential became undeniable. He was undefeated, and in just 2 starts, whispers began to grow. Could this late bloomer be Derby material? The Kentucky Derby is the crown jewel of American horse racing. In May of 2018, a record crowd gathered at Churchill Downs to witness history. Could Justify overcome the Apollo curse? The rain fell heavily that day, and the track was sloppy, conditions that often expose weakness. But Justify thrived.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the Kentucky Derby. And promises fulfilled. Great start. Flawless as well for Justify coming out of the gate. Both Doros flashing speed on the outside, and so is Noble Indy. And Good Magic is not far behind either. Beneath the iconic Twin Spires for the first time. Promises fulfilled out to set the pace. Justify is right there racing in second. Good Magic in behind while third. Both Doros racing in fourth. Flame Away on the inside in fifth. Firenze Fire moves up to be sixth. Noble Indy is seventh. Mendelssohn is off the pace today, racing in eighth. Free Drop Billy down inside ninth. Audible pushed along in 10th. Bravazzo is 11th. Enticed is running along in 12th. Combatant is wide on the first turn in 13th. Magna Moon is 14th. Lone Sailor is 15th. Hofberg is at the back of the pack, racing in 16th by 3. Then we come back to Instilled Regard and Vino Rosso. 5 or 6 more back to My Boy Jack. Solimini is the last of them all. A brutal half mile in the slop in 45 and 3/5 seconds. And just like that, Justify seizes the lead with a half mile to go in the Kentucky Derby. Promises fulfilled, trying to keep up second and inside. Flame Away's not far behind, racing third. Bolt Doros 3 wide on the far turn in fourth. Firenze fired on inside fifth. Champion Good Magic moves up 1 spot while wide on the far turn. Farther back, Bravazzo starting to muster up a rally. Going past Noble Indy. Audible starting to pick it up with 3 furlongs to go. Instilled Regards finding his best stride as well. So is Vino Rosso on the far outside as they race for the top of the stretch with Justify the one to catch. Here comes Good Magic on the outside for the final quarter mile. Justify turns for home in front. Good Magic in a full out drive with 3/16 to go. But Justify and Mike Smith are digging down on a 2-length lead. Good Magic is wandering about the track from far behind. Audible rallies to be third. They're coming to the final 16th, and it's Justify and Good Magic and Audible. Justify in a 2-length lead. Final try from Good Magic. All rise for Justify. The Kentucky Derby was never in doubt. Wins by 2.5. It's tight for second between Good Magic and Audible. Instilled Regard was fourth.
Breaking quickly from the gate, he positioned himself near the lead, never faltering. Down the stretch, he pulled away with authority, crossing the wire first. After 136 years, the Apollo curse was broken. Justify had not only won the Derby, he had announced himself as a generational talent. 2 weeks later, the stage shifted to Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore for the Preakness Stakes, the second leg of the Triple Crown.
Jimmy and I were watching these old YouTube takes about Man o' War when they used to do those news flashes, the horse would win, and the voice would come on, and he said, and the guy said, the main essential of a good horse is speed, and the second greatest essential of a great horse is more speed, and that's basically what we saw on Derby Day. I mean, a horse just pouring it on, and like if he was a rock, it'd be shedding his afterburner, just going on, and that's just the way he ran the other day. You know, to run as fast as he did, you know, granted the track was pretty fast and all that, but he was just unbelievable the way he just kept on running and just didn't have any woe in him at all. And then Mike Smith having trouble pulling him up, so you know, it's probably the hardest he's probably ever had to run, and so but I just think that quality right there is what it's going to help him in the Preakness, because he still has that. Not only does he have the talent, but he has the will to win. And that's, for him, what he's done in such a short period. It'll be fifth race in 13 weeks. It's just incredible the way how tough he is.
The fog was thick, and the track was again muddy.
To justify loads, so set with the call of the 143rd Preakness Stakes. Here's Larry Colmus.
Thank you, Mike. I'm looking at the shot that you are, so we'll see what happens here as Bravazzo goes in. They're all in line. We're ready for the start. They're off in the Preakness. Justify appeared to come out cleanly with Good Magic. Quip on the inside with early speed too, and Bravazzo is close and in the mix as they race out of the fog and bias for the first time. And it is indeed Justify who emerges up top, but Good Magic is closer today. Bravazzo is running along in third, Quip is fourth, Diamond King is fifth, then Sporting Chance, Tenfold on the outside, and Lone Sailor's the last of them all, as Justify is taken on by Good Magic through a 23.11 opening quarter mile. So Good Magic trying to get the jump on Justify here. They're head in head as they make their way to the backstretch. And Bravazzo is running along in third. Quip is fourth toward the inside. Diamond King follows in fifth. Then comes Tenfold, Sporting Chance, and Lone Sailor, the last of them all, as they continue their way up the backstretch. 47.19, a reasonable half mile here in the Preakness Stakes, but it is in fact Good Magic on the inside of Justify, and their noses apart on the lead. So they're going at each other, although the pace is not all that fast. And Bravazzo is 3 lengths off of them. Quip is down toward the inside, Tenfold, Diamond King, and then on the inside is Lone Sailor. So they make their way into the turn. Good Magic on the inside of Justify. The two of them are right together, and they've run 3/4 of a mile in 1 minute 11.42 seconds as they round the far turn in the fog at Pimlico. And Good Magic on the inside's got a head in front. Mike Smith goes to a ride on Justify. They are nose to nose. Justify now sticks a neck in front. He's going to try to put away Good Magic, and they're into the stretch. And Mike Smith goes to the whip on Justify. Tenfold is closing in with Bravazzo on the outside as the field comes into the final furlong. It is Justify in front. Good Magic on the outside. Tenfold. Bravazzo. Justify. He's unstoppable. He won the Preakness. Bravazzo was second. Tenfold was third. Good Magic was fourth. And a final time of 1 minute 55 and 4/5 seconds. Not even the fog could stop him.
The race was grueling, with challengers pressing him every step of the way. But Justify dug in, refusing to yield. He crossed the finish line first once again. Now, he stood one step away from immortality.
He's got the whole family with him, including wife Jill and his sons.
Right here, Lalo.
And the groom, who was also American Pharaoh's groom. Well, what about this race, Bob?
Look at your horse. Oh man, that was a nail biter. I mean, that they put it to us. That was a good horse. He was going. It was like they had their own private match race, and somebody had to give. And I'm glad it wasn't us, but it was. I'm so happy that we got it done. And I mean, he's just a great horse to handle all that pressure and keep on running.
Well, you've compared him to your other great horses in the last couple of weeks since the Derby. Do you compare him that way now as you go once again trying for a Triple Crown?
Well, he's equally as the talented. It's right there, but he's had to really work for it, and I'm just glad. I'm happy for the horse and Mike and all the connections that we pulled it out. They ran fast. I've never had one run that fast here.
Do you think that it took anything out of him yet? Just taking a guess?
It took more out of me. Yeah, it took a lot out of me, but I'm just glad everybody came to see a good horse. It was a great horse race, good magic. Tipped my hand to him. He made us really work. I mean, that's a really good horse.
Stakes is just 3 days away, and this year one horse has a chance to win the Triple Crown. Justify has only competed in 5 races and has won them all, including the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes. One potential hurdle, though, Justify drew the number 1. That's a top spot for the race, placing him right next to the rail. So Justify's trainer says he doesn't like that position, but added that he'll just deal with it. Justify is still the odds-on favorite to win.
Well, Bob, you're back again for another Triple Crown try. This is your 5th, and of course you won it in 15. What have you learned over this time as far as getting horses ready for this?
You know, I basically really didn't train him any differently than I did Silver Charm, Real Quiet, and the rest of them. And one thing I realized, if they can get the mile and a half, they'll get it on their class. And so, you know, he couldn't look any better, but we still have to get around there.
Everything seems to be smooth since winning the Preakness with Justify. Do you have any concerns at all coming in?
No, I think that extra 3 weeks really helped him. I can see that he's starting to mature, just the way he trains, and we've sort of he sort of rushed into this whole scene, you know, early this year. But I just love the way he's handled everything mentally. Usually, when they've had a few races, they start getting a little bit excited, and you know, since he's got here to New York, he's handled the track. He loves the track, goes over it well. My horses earlier went over it well. We're training great, and they ran well. So that hopefully it continues on today.
Good luck today, Bob. Thanks.
Thank you.
On June 9th, 2018, Belmont Park in New York buzzed with anticipation. The Belmont Stakes, the test of the champion, awaited Justify. Only 12 horses in history had ever captured the elusive Triple Crown.
They're all in line. We are ready for a start. They're off in the 150th Belmont Stakes. And it was a very good beginning for Justify, who goes immediately to the early lead in the race to the first turn. So it will be Justify to set the pace here. And there on the outside goes Restoring Hope, the other Bob Baffert trainee, who's wide into that turn and running in second position. Right in behind them in third is Bravazzo. Noble Indy is off the pace. And then on the inside comes Tenfold. The opening quarter mile was a swift one, 23.37 seconds. A very fast pace for Justify, who will lead the field on to the backstretch here with his stablemate Restoring Hope sitting in second. And on the inside, Bravazzo is third. Noble Indy is fourth. Tenfold fifth. Vino Rosso sixth. And Blended Citizen on the outside, followed by Hofberg and Free Drop Billy. Gronkowski is last. They've slowed things down a bit. 48.11 was the half. That's just a bit faster than American Pharoah went 3 years ago. Justify and Mike Smith, the Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner, head up the backstretch in the Belmont Stakes with a length lead. Restoring Hope on the outside is second. Bravazzo is down toward the inside. Noble Indy is next. Vino Rosso is close up running in fifth. He's 5 lengths off the lead. 3/4 went in 1 minute, 13.21 seconds, halfway home in the Belmont. And then comes Tenfold on the inside of Blended Citizen. Hofberg is drafting in behind horses, 6 lengths off the lead. Free Drop Billy and Gronkowski, the last of them all. And Mike Smith and Justify make their run into the far turn. They've got a 2-length lead. Restoring Hope is put to a ride as Vino Rosso begins to rev it up on the outside. Bravazzo is down toward the rail. They've run a mile in 1:38.09 seconds. Justify is the leader, but it's just a half-length advantage here. Vino Rosso comes under a ride. Mike Smith has not asked Justify to go just yet. Justify a length lead here as they come to the top of the stretch. Vino Rosso is second. Hofberg comes on the scene, and Gronkowski has cut the corner, and they're into the stretch. And Justify comes roaring home to a raucous Belmont Park with 1 furlong to run. Gronkowski and Hofberg trying to run him down. Vino Rosso is fourth, a 16th to go. Justify is still there. Justify from Gronkowski. He's just perfect, and now he's just immortal.
As the gates opened, Justify sprang forward. Rather than waiting, he seized the lead, setting the pace himself. His stride was powerful, his energy unrelenting. One by one, his rivals faded. Down the long stretch, thousands roared as Justify thundered home, undefeated, unstoppable, untouchable. With that victory, Justify became the 13th Triple Crown winner in history, and only the second to do so while undefeated.
Mike, you told us that you had probably been riding horses even before you could walk, so how long have you been dreaming about a moment like this?
First and foremost, I thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for blessing me on this wonderful day. We're all so blessed we made it back safe. This horse ran a tremendous race. He's so gifted. He's sent from heaven. I tell you, it's just amazing. I can't describe the emotions that's going through my body right now. I'd like to say one thing in the midst of all this. All the disabled riders, I dedicate this to you. And Marlon St. Julian, get better, brother. We're praying for you.
Mike, a couple of months ago, you told me that when you were inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame in 2003, you didn't feel like you had accomplished enough yet to belong. Do you feel like you belong now?
I've been so blessed. Yeah, I belong now.
Let's talk about Justify. Words to describe him have eluded you. I've heard you say he's an old soul. Have you found some more words to describe him?
He's just brilliant, Donna. Did you see him in the gate? He's standing so still. I mean, I actually thought maybe he's not going to break today. I mean, he left there like he was going 440 yards in Ruidoso, New Mexico, man.
You would know.
Mexico, too.
Congratulations, Mike. Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
In just 112 days, Justify had raced 6 times and won them all. From maiden debut to Triple Crown champion, his rise was nothing short of meteoric. His career ended as quickly as it began. A minor injury forced his retirement later in 2018, but by then, the legend was secure. Justify joined the ranks of immortals, standing alongside names like Secretariat, Seattle Slew, and American Pharaoh. Yet, he was unique. No other Triple Crown winner had retired undefeated. Following retirement, Justify entered stud at Ashford Stud in Kentucky, commanding one of the highest stud fees in the world. His first foals drew international attention, with hopes that his speed, size, and courage would pass to the next generation. Even outside of racing, his name carries weight, a reminder of a spring in 2018 when a chestnut colt defied history, shattered superstition, and claimed the most coveted prize in American sports. Justify's story is one of speed, strength, and destiny. He broke a curse that lasted more than a century, captured the Triple Crown, and retired unbeaten. In only 6 races, he became a legend, a horse whose career may have been brief, but whose impact will endure forever. Justify, undefeated, unyielding, unforgettable. The champion who proved that history can be rewritten.